Hello and welcome. You're still logged into the Money Show on ET Now. Now, there are a plethora of funds available in the market to invest your hard-earned money in. But how do you assess which is the right fund for your portfolio? What are the criteria that one should look at? To help you navigate through this maze, we have Amol Joshi, the founder at Planned Rupee Investment Services, joining us. Also, do not forget to send us your portfolio queries on our WhatsApp number 865-797-4571, or you can also email us your mutual fund queries on the Money Show at etnow.tv. Alright, Mr. Joshi, I'm going to hit you with the first query that we've got today, and that's coming in from Diksha. Now, she's saying that she wants to build a corpus of 3 crores in 20 years. So, she's asking you to suggest some fund restructuring or step-up options in the mutual fund scheme. I'm going to read out her portfolio to you, and she has 5,000 rupees per month invested in the Nippon India Power Scheme, 1,000 per month each across Aditya Birla Sun Life Flexi Cap, Kotak Equities Opportunities, and ICICI Pru Large and Mid Cap. She also has 3,000 rupees per month invested in Mirae Asset Large Cap, 4,000 rupees in Kotak Flexi Cap, 4,000 once again in SBI Blue Chip, and 6,700 per month NPS, and also 50,000 yearly when it comes to NPS. So what's your recommendation, and how would you tailor this portfolio to achieve that corpus of 3 crores in 20 years?
All right, so let's look at numbers first. Diksha, you have 31,000 rupees of investments across mutual funds as well as NPS via the monthly and the annual breakup. So if this 31,000 rupees of investments over a period of 20 years, if it grows at about 11% or so, you will be able to create a corpus of 2.52 crores. So that is roughly 2.5 crore. You are, as we can see, you are falling short by roughly 50 lakh rupees to your goal. You will simply have to do a 3% of annual SIP top-up. So what SIP top-up simply means is as your income increases over the years, you also increase your SIP. So for an example, your 31,000 rupees SIP next year becomes, let's say, 33,000, so on and so forth. So you are able to do only the 3% of SIP top-up on an annual basis. You will reach your goal of 3 crore rupees. That's point number one. Coming to the schemes, I can see that you have about 5,000 rupees of SIP into a power fund. I would say that unless you are a sectoral expert or you track the sector very, very closely, which will enable you to enter as well as exit at an opportune time. And mind you, this is very, very difficult to be done a number of times and across the period. Unless you can do that, my suggestion is avoid sector funds. So if it were up to me, to allocate your existing 20,000 rupees of SIP, how I would allocate it: Mirae Asset Large Cap, you can have about 6,000 rupees of SIP. ICICI Prudential Large and Mid Cap, another 6,000. And Kotak Equity Opportunities and Nippon Multi Cap, other two schemes, you can have SIPs of 4,000 rupees each. Last but not the least, SIP top-up can also go into the very same schemes as and when you increase your SIP exposure over the years.
Well, thanks for that, Mr. Joshi. I'm going to hit you with the second query that's coming today, and that's coming in from Ritesh. He's 30 years old and he has the following SIPs. He has 20,000 rupees in the Parak Parik Flexi Cap, 15,000 in HDFC Flexi Cap, 10,000 in the PGIM Flexi Cap, 10,000 again in Quant Active, 15,000 across ICICI Nifty 50 Fund, 15,000 once again in Mirae Asset Emerging Blue Chip, 20,000 in PGIM India, a mid cap, and 15,000 in Axis Small. He also has 15,000 invested in the ICICI Nasdaq 100 Fund and 5,000 rupees in the Tata Digital India Fund. So his query to you is that his investment's current value is roughly around 52 lakh rupees, a time horizon of 13 years, and his primary goal here is wealth creation. So could you review his portfolio and suggest any changes if you would like to?
Sure. So Ritesh, I'm very glad to see this. I'm very glad that at a very young age, you have a substantially higher monthly investments rate, as well as that has probably enabled you to create a very handsome corpus. As on today's date, the market has also done well. So I'm sure you are happy on overall your investment decision. So let's come to where you will be on your goal of 13 years later creating wealth. So your existing 52 lakh rupees of lump sum corpus and your 1.4 lakh rupees of SIP per month over next 13 years, if this portfolio and obviously the market were to deliver a 12% kind of CAGR, you'll be able to create a very, very handsome corpus of about 7.5 crore rupees, 7.50 crores. That's the kind of corpus that you can look forward to. Ritesh, as I mentioned, you're already doing a good job. My only some a little bit of suggestion would be, even if you have a higher SIP amount, not to invest into multiple schemes, because several of your schemes are of flexi cap nature. So as we know, what flexi cap scheme does is it invests into large cap as well as mid cap as well as small cap, and you are anyway going to get across the market cap exposure from these schemes. So quickly, if I were to realign your 1.4 lakh rupees of SIP per month, please increase your SIP in Parag Parikh Flexi Cap to 35,000 rupees. Consolidate other Flexi Cap funds into HDFC Flexi Cap, boost that SIP to 30,000 rupees. And for your, since you have a 13-year, which is a reasonably long period of time, have some mid cap and small cap exposure. Mid cap, your existing PGI mid cap, please continue 25,000 rupees of SIP in that, and the rest of 25,000 rupees SIP exposure goes to small cap. Nippon small cap is my recommendation. Last but not the least, for a higher amount of corpus, you would want to probably balance out some kind of geographical risk. So I would say that you are getting that allocation, what you have overseas, the Nasdaq fund of 15,000, you are getting that same allocation from Parag Parikh FlexiCap also, but still remaining amount or any SIP top-ups that you do over a period of time can go into overseas diversification, which is 25,000 rupees out of your existing SIPs.
All right, Mr. Joshi, thanks so much for that. The third query today is coming in from Naman, who's 40 years old, and he's asking that he has an investment amount of 35,000 and an investment horizon of 8 years. So could you suggest where to invest in mutual funds, and how would you recommend him to go ahead with this amount that he has for a time span of 8 years?
Well, Naman, this is a straightforward query. I would have liked to probably get to know what kind of risk profile you have. But assuming that you have moderate to aggressive risk appetite or risk profile, and also that you have a reasonably long period of time, which is 8 years as your investment horizon, I would suggest a simple breakup into in a following manner. Your 35,000 rupees SIP, about 15,000 of it can go into Nippon India Large Cap Fund. As the name suggests, it's a large cap scheme. Next 10,000 can go to Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund, and the rest of the 10,000 rupees, looking at the current market valuation as well as 8 years investment horizon that you have in front of you, remaining 10,000 can go into HDFC Balance Advantage Fund. So if I were to also project, let's say 11% kind of CAGR for your portfolio, this 35,000 rupees of SIP will create about 52 to 55 lakh rupees of corpus for you 8 years from now. And if you happen to do 8% per annum SIP top up, you can boost this amount from 50 to 55, probably closer to 70 lakh rupees by doing SIP top up. SIP top up is nothing but increasing your SIPs as your income grows year on year.
All right, well, and lastly, we have a query coming in from Sagar, who's 33 years old. He's asking you to tell him about a portfolio that will give him the right balance in 25 years, and how much will he have to invest monthly in it. What would you say to that?
Right. So again, this is also a very interesting question. 25 years is an extremely long period of time. But Sagar, what you have mentioned, kindly give me a portfolio which will give me the right balance. So right balance of what? There are various types of, balances that you have to maintain. There is a balance between asset allocation. There is balance between the kind of schemes that you choose and your risk appetite, so on and so forth. I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the right information to kind of, I don't have all the information to give you a suggestion that will work in your favor. Many things are missing over here. Your existing asset mix, what kind of amount that you want to invest, what kind of corpus that you want to create. I would say these details would help me or any other professional to give you the right kind of suggestion or advice. Once again, I repeat, your profile, whether aggressive profile, moderate profile, or conservative risk profile, all these things matter before we make a recommendation to you. I would say that my suggestion is to consult a professional or a registered financial advisor for, to understand, if you do not know about these details, to understand these aspects first, and then probably go towards a portfolio construction.
All right, Mr. Joshi, with that, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us this evening. Viewers, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of The Money Show with me, Snehisha. Thanks so much for watching. Also, do not forget to send us your portfolio queries on our WhatsApp number 865-797-4571. Or remember, you can also email us your queries on The Money Show at etnow.tv. Thanks so much for watching.